in this installment, once I've saved, obviously, let's have a little look. Let's, what did I do there? I corrected and internal fillet. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, if I look at my sketches, and I understand that you can't see them, but you know, I'll like I said, I'll put them up in a video, or perhaps as an attachment to one of these videos, I'll put the actual two-dimensional, the paper sketches on to show you, so you can have a look at what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and hopefully make a bit more sense. From my model, I've got a fin on top of this. I'm going to switch off that section like that. I've got this fin. I've got all these pop-ups, you know, mail coming in, great seasons, new trainers, get your Yeezys quickly. I'm going to create a fin on the top and on the bottom. Now, the fin on the top is going to be used for holding the two components together. So it's going to bolt through the top, so it's going to have a bolt hole through it. And again, that's going to let me show off my threads and threading conventions, and it's going to allow me to import from a CAD library the bolts that hold it together. The one at the bottom is going to take or hold the bracket for the neck, so the neck is going to locate into that. So I'm going to create it as a full before I split it, and then I'm going to split it down the middle. Now, I've tried this several ways. Now, obviously, this curve here is a kind of compound curve. It curves both in this direction and in this direction. And so sketching onto it is quite difficult. So I'm going to try it with a surface model, and that's going to get me another one of my techniques. Now, if you imagine a surface model is used, it's an infinitely thin surface, which I can then thicken and project. So that's what I'm going to try. Hopefully it'll become clearer as we go through it. So I want to create a sketch. So I want to create a sketch onto that center plane because it's going to sit in here. And I'm going to use a spline. Now I have different types of spline, and we can go into that in another video. Now the beauty of using a surface is that it doesn't have to be an enclosed shape. So I'm going to sketch out a spline like so. Now this spline, when I click on it, it has these control points and it has these control handles which allow me to maneuver the spline to where I want to, like that. Now I have to be careful at this point because I want to make sure that that is snapped onto the end of that object. Now you see what happened there? That's not good. So I want that point. Let's have a little look. Let's go back. I want to make sure. So I'm going to hit my P again, and I'm going to project that surface, and I'm going to make that point there clip on to that surface. So that's that constrained onto there. And then I'm going to do the same at this side. I'm going to constrain. That's P for project. And I'm going to constrain that point onto that edge. Like that. Now this is where people are starting to go, oh no, don't do that. Do it this way. Now I'm quite happy. I'll leave the comments open on this, and I'm more than happy if you've got a better way of doing it. Definitely let me know. Obviously, what I would traditionally do would be I would close that shape in here, and I might actually end up doing that inside the object. So I'm going to change from my solid modeling into my surface modeling, and I've got a series. It looks very similar. You know, I can do the same. I've got the same sweep lofts and all that, but I've got new things like patch and ruled and stitch. And we'll go into that in more detail when we make the body, because we're going to make the body using surface modeling. So I want to extrude that so I get a surface. Now, at the minute, it's only going in one direction. So like an extrude, I want to do it symmetrically. I can make it symmetrical around the middle like that. So I'm going to create a surface like that. So it's another one of my techniques, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing it. So I've got this solid surface. Now there's nothing to that surface, it's just a thin surface. It's like a sheet of paper stretched over the top there. Now what I can do with that is I can thicken it. So if I take that object, I can go into my create, and I can go down to thicken. And what that does, it will thicken my sketch. Now you can see it's got this kind of interference pattern on the surface, and it will thicken my sketch like that. Now that's quite nice for handles and things like that. Now it won't allow me to go. Now you're like, that's fantastic, that's exactly what I want. But now the problem is, let's have a little look inside. So see inside, now I've got an issue with it inside. It's actually come into my object. So let's have a little look at the analysis of that. Let's take a cross section off that. We can see that to get that down far enough, I've had to extrude it inside the object. Now that's not fantastic. Now I could go around and I could play around with this, bring this in, and I could have that, or I could just have it inside like that. Now if I did that, see the problem is I then have this other bit of material, so it's not very nice. But the reality is you would never see it. But I don't like that. I think that's quite ugly, and it's almost at the point that we're just using that technique just to get it in. We're trying to tick that box, and it's not really what we want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that thicken. And oh man, where's it gone? Where's the sketch gone? But the sketch is still there. It's just switched off. When you delete the feature, the associated sketch remains, but it just stays in this kind of sketch folder for this particular body. Now you can also see that it's generated this kind of other body. So we've got this body 2, body 1. So body 1 is that, and body 2 is that. But you can see how the icon is different. This is a solid body, so it's kind of got this grade cylinder, whereas this is a surface. So it's got this surface body, which is like an orange surface like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of that, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to complete and close off that section in here, make this an enclosed region so I can then extrude it. Now let's have a little look. So I'm going to go back and delete that body, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit that sketch. So this time I am going to sketch, and I'm going to use a spline, but I'm going to use a control spline, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully, not that carefully actually, sketch out that point. Now I can alter that so it fits better by dragging them into position. Now I'm sure someone's going to put an email or drop a comment in the bottom saying, oh, do it like this, do it like that. More than happy to take on anyone's advice. As I said, I've been using this for 7 weeks now, so I'm not claiming to be an expert in any way at all. Now we can see that looks good. Now it looks funny here because obviously my extrude is, I've sectioned this back further than that, so it's actually that follows through onto there. So I'm happy with that. Now I can treat it like any other extrude, so I'm just going to extrude that, and again I'm going to do it on 2 sides. In fact, I'm going to do it symmetrically, and I'm going to drag that out. Now at this point it looks a bit funny because it's a cut for one, so I'm going to add that as a join, and it's also running through this section bit. Now I can see, well, look what I see in there when let's just say, okay, let's give this a size to start with. Let's call that 10. All right. Now I can see that I'm going to have problems with that, yeah, because with the way that I've drawn it, I have this little slice in here. Now I'm going to take a print screen of that, and I'm going to pop it into here. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and fix that. So I can fix it. I need to go back into that initial sketch. So if I edit that sketch, and I can actually see, if I look there, I can see how that's just not. I actually wonder if I can just project that edge. No, I don't know if I can. Anyway, so let's have a little look, see if I can bring that down onto there. And let's see if that's made a difference. That's better. It's now one solid component. Do I still have a little problem there? Well, I've still got a little problem at the front there. Obviously my constraint didn't really work, so I'm going to go back into that sketch again. And I'm going to bring that. Make sure. There we go. So that's much better. A nice solid. So again, I'm going to take a print screen of that and I'm going to put it into my drawing. Now I'm quite happy to hear a better way of doing that, more than happy to listen to you. That was quite clumsy. So I have my feature on the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and I'm going to make the same feature on the bottom as well. So if you join me in the next video, I'll have the top one and the bottom one completed. Thank you.